Hello, my friends. I'm Dr. Yaniv Zaid. I'm an international global speaker and business consultant. I help people and companies improve their marketing abilities, sales abilities, persuasion abilities, and negotiation abilities. The best advice I got is to be authentic. When you try to sell and market, just be yourself, be the best version of yourself. Don't try to be someone else, because the best way to sell to people is to be authentic. People appreciate it. Be yourself, tell the truth, be honest, and people will buy from you.
Ooh, so to be authentic. So when did you learn this advice? How did this come to you? How did you find this advice out?
First of all, with 21 years of experience, because I see, the marketing is changing all the time. In 2024, when we recorded, it's different than 5 years ago, 10 years ago. And some methods that used to work 10 years ago, they don't work anymore. And people, they have today, I call it a fake radar or bullshit radar, that they know when you tell, you're not telling the truth, or you are not authentic, or you try to take someone else's methods and use it for yourself, for your product and services. So other than envy in others and try to copy others, then just be yourself. And I noticed that every time I try to do something that worked for someone else and try to, let's say, force it on my activities, it didn't work. And when I was and also my clients were authentic, and we told the truth, and we talked not just about the success, but also the failures, and also the lab hours, not just the story of success, then people love it, people admire it. And I tell my clients all the time, be Batman and not Superman. So what is the difference? Because both Batman and Superman, they are superheroes, and they are both look like human beings, right? But Superman is actually not a human being. Superman came from another planet. So if Superman will provide a workshop about how to fly, and I will sit in the first row and I write everything, and he will explain everything. He will say, go to the highest roof, check the wind, check your steps, and I will do everything he says. I will still going to fall because I am human being and he's not. But if Batman will deliver a workshop how to fly, and I will sit and they will tell me, Yaniv, I'm like you. I had even a worse childhood because the Joker killed my parents, and I fell into a cave and I was afraid of darkness and afraid of bats, and I taught myself how to fly. Here, how you can do it as well. Then I can relate to it, I can listen to it and I can learn from it, and then I will talk more about him and I will buy from him. So be Batman and not Superman, be authentic, and tell not just the success stories, but also the failure and the lab hour stories.
Be Batman, not Superman. I think that's great advice. So with that, you said to be yourself, but what if we're a new seller and we don't know yet who we are? How do we get to know who we are?
It's a great question. First of all, you need to find out before you try to sell, before you start selling, because one of the things when I provide business consulting to companies and small, medium businesses owners, and also to entrepreneurs, I'll always ask them a few questions before we start selling and market. For example, what is your why? Why do you do it? Why do you sell this specific product? Why do you choose this specific occupation? Second of all, who is your ideal customer, ideal client? Who is the target audience? Before we start selling, you don't just sell to everyone. You try to sell. By the way, it's fun. I know you talk a lot about fun, and people should be happy in the workplace. So if I sell to everyone, I'm not happy, and I will hear lots of no. But if I will choose and identify the direct, ideal client for myself and for my products, then I will have more chance to succeed. So ask yourself, what is your why? Who is your target audience? What are your messages? Okay, why to buy from you? And even if I have a little experience, I still have lots of social proofs, lots of, let's say, objective evidence that I can talk about myself. Even if you start and you are, for example, 25 years old, okay, so you are young, but you have some achievements, from school, from college, maybe from the army, maybe from other workplaces or stuff like that, so you can leverage yourself each time. So when you will be 40 or 50, then you have much more achievements to talk about. But yet today, even if you are, for example, 25, 40 years old, you still have achievements you can talk about. So first you need to prepare yourself. You need to prepare all these messages, and only then you can start selling, and then you will do it with much more success.
Preparation is very important. I agree. I think that's super, super important. Well, one of the ways to prepare is to get a copy of your book. So congratulations. It's a great book. Lots of great stuff in there. So you've got 10 ideas in there that are super valuable. So let's talk about a couple of them. So let's talk about putting yourself out front. What does that mean?
Putting yourself out front, in front of audience, in front of clients, it means that if you'd like to succeed in life, you shouldn't hide. You shouldn't hide behind the computer. You should be out there where your clients are, when the people that can influence your future are. I strongly believe that even in the digital era, and maybe although the digital era, there is much importance, for communication, for people communicate with one another, networking in one-on-one events, in frontal events, not just by Zoom. I tell all the time for my clients, if you'd like to increase your income, they go out of the office, leave your office, leave your house, go outside, go to conferences, go to workshops, meet your clients, not just send them email, but talk to them by phone, not just talk by phone, go and meet them, not just meet them by Zoom, go and meet them face to face, because there is a certain magic that happens when you meet people face to face, even in 2024. So this is my advice, because if you'd like to succeed, people need to see you. If you look at all the famous people at all the most successful business person they are all out there. You can see them. You can buy a ticket to hear their lecture. You can go to a conference. There will be one of the panelists. You will see them on TV. You will see them on social media. It's also be out there. You will see stories about them. You will know a lot about their biography. So you can know about them. So even if you know about them and you like them because you know a lot of information about them and you trust them, then if you know them, like them, and trust them, then and at the end you will buy from them, or you'll invest in them, or you talk about them. So go out of the office, go outside your house, go and meet people. Don't just hide behind the computer and just stay safe inside four walls.
So is there a way though to stay behind your computer? I mean, some people are going to say, well, I don't know where my customers are, or I don't have time to go out and meet them in person. Can I just stay here? Or do you really believe that I need to get off my butt and get out there?
Yeah, well, it's both. For example, we are now having this conversation. You are in Florida, I'm in Israel, in Tel Aviv. So we can, I can get into a plane and go and meet you, but just for one podcast, it's not a good investment of my time. So if you do it, it's we're both sitting behind the computer, but at the end we get a great result. But if we now, I would go get on a plane and go meet you face to face, probably our relationship will be much better, and we can talk before the podcast, after the podcast. We'll hang out together. At the end, sales and marketing are a relationship between people. So if I would like to develop a relationship with you, I might as well meet you. But you can't do it behind the screen, behind Zoom, behind emails. I just prefer, by the way, you can do both. I just prefer not only online marketing, but also offline marketing and meeting people, meeting friends, creating relationships. And because most of the people hide behind the computer, if I will be the one who meet you face to face, then probably our relationship will get better, and I can put myself above the noise, above the regular noise that you hear all the time.
Yeah, I think I like that. I think that's right on. The more offline we can do, the more better online we can do. So let's talk about another one here. You got lots of stuff in here. So let's talk about the persuasion process. What is the persuasion process, and how does that work?
Okay, so first of all, I mentioned the 4 steps that till the client buys from you: know, buy, know, like, trust, and buy. So first step is in the persuasion process is people need to know you. In order for them to know you, you need to be out there, like I mentioned, but not just offline, but also online. They need to know that you exist, to be in the market. Sometimes I teach company how to develop their business, so I consult to people, and I tell them, most of your clients, most of your family members, most of your friends, they don't know what you do. So if they don't know what you do, they can't buy from you. They won't refer to you because they don't know. So the first step is just to get people to know you. So you need to be in as many platforms as possible, including LinkedIn, Facebook, Instagram, etc. But also, like I mentioned, with books or with lectures, to network in conferences, etc. So when people know you, this is the first step. Second step in the persuasion process is they need to like you, to get a personal chemistry with you. Now, I can like you before I even met you in person and before I even bought from you. How can I do it? If I see a movie, for example, and then I like your personality that is reflected in the movie, or when I see you in a big lecture, I'm in a crowd, but I like you. I see you on the media, I see your podcast or something like that, then I like you. it's very important that to have a chemistry between you and the clients. And this is step number 2, like. And step number 3, trust. So I say, okay, I know you, I got to know you, and I like you, but how can I trust you that you are the expert I need, that what you say is actually what you mean? And here there is comes a very important tool in the marketing and persuasion process. It's called social proof. Social proof meaning that if I talk about myself and I say that I'm very good at what I do and I'm professional, it doesn't sound objective, right? It sounds subjective because I'm talking about myself. So obviously I'm going to speak highly of myself. But if I will show you some objective evidence about my former achievements or my famous clients or my amount of clients or celeb clients or the amount of years I've been doing it or my formal education or formal certificate or stuff like that, then you can trust me. And you didn't buy yet from me, but you trust me that I know what I'm talking about because I already got the experience. As I mentioned, even if I'm 25 years old, for example, I still have social proofs. I still have some formal achievements, even if it's when I was 18 or 20. So only after the 3 steps, step number 1 is to know you, step number 2 is to like you, step number 3 is to trust you, then comes step number 4 in the persuasion process, meaning I will buy from you, I will vote from you, I will vote for you, I will invest in you, in your startup. So we are talking about developing a long-term relationship with our clients, with our neighborhoods, with our environment, with our investors.
Okay, so let's hit on that point that you made about the 25-year-old that has past stuff. I mean, how does past success like that as a 25-year-old lead to a 50-year-old trusting someone?
Okay, great. So first of all, you need to create value to others. Okay, so you can create value. If you're 25 years old, you need to think how can I create value even to people who are 15 years old. By the way, social proof, nobody expects at 25 years old to be with 30 years of experience, right? But I can expect them to be with a relative advantage for over others at 25 years old. So for example, if I'm looking for a job, okay, so they hire me if I would show a lot of credibilities, a lot of social proof for my age. For example, again, formal achievements, if I volunteered in some places, if I worked in some places, if I had a military service in the army, if I had I was an excellent student and I have some recommendation from my lecturers and my lectures in the university or something like that. So I can show a lot of data about myself in every age, and nobody expects me to be very, very experienced, but they do expect me to show how I'm better than the other relative people in my status. Okay, and also I can create value. I am a business consultant. I'm now 47 years old. I started when I was 23 in Israel, and I very, very quickly spread to all over the world. I was ranked number 3 in the world in 2002. There is the world ranking of public speakers. I was number 3, and I was in the debate society when I was a student, and I reached I came to reach the semifinals of the European Championship in 2003 and other achievements. So when I started teaching people about public speaking, about how to speak in front of an audience, how to build a lecture, I had lots of experience when I was 23, 24, 25 years old that I can teach 50 years old, 60 years old, because they know their stuff, but they don't know public speaking like I do. So if you create value for others, okay, then you can teach in any age to any age. Okay, so this is my advice to you is seek for your relative advantage and seek for your value that you can provide to others. And if we talk about the digital era, then sometimes young people, they can teach old people, because the old people, they don't know how, for example, to market with LinkedIn. And if I'm 25 years old, probably I know about LinkedIn more than 50 years old. So you need to find your unique perspective, unique value, and then you can teach everyone and you can sell it to everyone.
Okay, that makes sense. So lots of good stuff there. So let's move on to step 8. You talk about making people talk about you. How do you make people talk about you?
Okay, great. It's called viral marketing. Viral marketing, it's commandment number 8 in my book, The 21st Century Sales Bible. So viral marketing is actually, I would like every client of mine to be an ambassador for me. So if I talk about myself, again, like we talked about social proof, if I talk about myself, it doesn't sound objective, it sounds subjective. So it's good to talk about yourself, it's good to market yourself, but it's good even to hire some salesperson that can work for me. But my clients can be my best ambassadors, okay? And they can be my best salesperson, because think about it. If I sell to you my products, then okay, maybe you need my product, maybe you can buy from me. But on the subconscious level, you say, okay, he's talking about himself, so obviously he's going to speak highly of himself. But if you will hear about me from your colleagues or your friends or your family members, they will say, oh, you need a business consultant? You need a speaker for your conference? Well, Dr. Yaniv Zaid is a great guy. I heard him in a lecture, this and that. So who are going to believe more? To your colleagues and friends, people you know more years than you know me. So the viral marketing is making people talk about you. Now, how can you make people talk about you? I have a few tips, so I will tell them shortly here. So first of all, if you teach people great tips, practical tips they can use, each time they use the tip, they think about you, and then they talk about you with others. So if you, for example, I will teach you some tool in marketing, and you will do it, and your colleague will ask, wow, you have got a great digital campaign here. How do you know it? And you will say, well, I heard the lecture from Dr. Yaniv Zaid, Dr. Persuasion. He gave me this tip. Then you told your friend about me. And this is because you implemented my tip, and then you think about me, and then you talk about me. So this is one example. Another example is stories. When I tell you stories, if I write stories on my social media, my LinkedIn, my Facebook, my YouTube, I tell it in my lectures, I tell it in my books, and I tell you a good story, a story about failure, a story about success, my personal story, people hear stories, people remember stories, people talk about stories, they tell it to others. So if you like my story, you will tell it to others, and when you tell the others, you probably mention me, and you will give me credit. And then some people I don't know yet, they get to know me because of you, because you became an ambassador for me. So great stories is something I urge you to tell and to write on your social media and on your marketing materials. And number 3 is talking about something that happens on news. For example, if now there is the elections in the United States, and I will provide some unique perspective I have. For example, I do public speaking, marketing, sales. So if I analyze the debate between Kamala Harris and Donald Trump, for example, and everyone is talking about the debate now, let's say we're talking about a few days after the debate, and everyone is talking about it, and I analyze it in my special, unique way, then you already talk anyway, not because of me, you talk about the debate, then you can say, well, there is an expert, I listen to his podcast, or I hear his article, I read his articles, so I read a very interesting article that he analyzed the body language of Donald Trump and Kamala Harris, you should read it, or something like that. And then I wrote and I created some content, okay, about something that happens on news. You talked about news regardless of me, but then you mentioned me and you refer people to me. So those 3 tips, practical tools, great stories, and addressing actual events, all creates viral marketing, and people will become ambassadors for you.
So what if it doesn't go viral though? What if it's small and people don't talk about it? Do we just try again, or what do you think?
A great question. Consistency is very, very important. We try over and over. I published so far 11 books, 6 in Hebrew and 5 in English. My new release is the 21st Century Sales Bible that was published till now in 12 languages, translated to 12 languages. And there is no publisher that can only publish bestsellers, right? And they all try very hard. They all get hundreds of books each week, and they choose maybe 1 book a month to publish. And yet, although all those tests, they still can't make it all of them bestsellers. So we try our best to become viral. Everyone would like every post to get thousands of likes, and every YouTube channel, a movie will get dozens of thousands of views. But you can do it. So you do the best you can each time. You try to make it viral as much as you can each time. And the important thing is to keep going. I can tell you that I create lots of content, and sometimes I write an article or a post, and I love it very much. And I say to myself, oh, it's going to be viral for sure. And then I'm disappointed from the results. But then sometimes I just put a picture and write some sentences around it. It took me a minute, and then suddenly boom, it blows, and it's becomes viral, and dozens of thousands of views or likes. And I said, how come? Just spend one minute. So you need to be accurate and to all the time try again and again. And if you do the best you can and use the right marketing tools, you get great results for the long-term relationship.
Long-term. I think long-term is the key. You have to take a longer view than a shorter view. It's not about every post. It's about just being out there as much as you can. So I love that. So lots of great tips inside here. What's one that I didn't cover that you think is super important, Yaniv?
Maybe sell lots of tips in this book and also in my lectures, and also I have a website, drpersuasion.com. If you'd like to check, maybe we will find them lots of great tips. A great tip that I can mention here is sell the problem before the solution, because sometimes when we sell our products and services, we focus on the solution, our products, the technical aspects. If we're talking about software, then we talk about the code. If we talk about the cosmetic products, we talk about the chemistry. If we talk about the car, then we talk about the engine. But no, the clients doesn't care about the solution, they care about their problems. And if we can identify the problem good, then we can sell it in higher price and also in more success. For example, if we take a regular bouquet of flowers, I can charge maybe $100 for the flowers. But if I call it a bridal bouquet, of flowers for the wedding, then I can charge $300 to $500. Now those are the same flowers. What is the difference? The need. Because when you buy flowers for the wedding, you don't actually buy flowers. You buy the image, the $1 million feeling of the bride, of Queen for a Day, and the great feeling she has during the ceremony, and the winning picture that 10 years from now the bride and groom will sit with their kids with the photo albums from the wedding and will say, oh, look how beautiful mommy was. And they will sit 30 years from now with their grandkids and say, oh, look how beautiful grandmother was. So this is why I buy flowers for the wedding, not because of the flower, because all of the rest, the image, the feeling, the atmosphere, the vibe. So if you identify the needs and problems of your clients and you can sell them before you sell the product, then you are more likely to sell to them.
Yeah, I think that's super good. Francois Lupien says that's a great suggestion there. He loves that, selling the problem before the solution. I love that. You talk about that in your book. Lots of great stuff here. drpersuasion.com is his website. Lots of great tips there.
It's drpersuasion.com. And also, if you have any questions, you can send it to my email, yaniv@yanivzaid.com. It's YANIV@yanivzaid.com. And I promise to answer any question you may have.
That's awesome. That's awesome. Lots of great stuff. Congratulations on a fantastic book. I encourage folks to pick it up. It's longer, but it's shorter. And by that, I mean, it's long. There's a lot of stuff in there, but it's shorter, and that every little nugget is about a page or two, and it's full of great stuff. So, Yaniv, thank you so much for being with me. I really appreciate it. This was great stuff, my man.
Thank you very much, Philip. I'm honored to be here. It's a great privilege, and I listened to many chapters of your podcast, and I liked it. So this is the beginning of a beautiful friendship between us, even though we're
yeah, even though we're so far apart. Absolutely, my friend. Well, congratulations, and